This episode is brought to you by Sterling Soap Company. How often do you think about your soap? Well, if you answered, not much, maybe you should. You see, a lot of what passes for soap in stores is technically not soap, according to the FDA's definition. It's full of lab-created chemicals and detergents because, well, it's cheaper to make. Now, what if you could buy natural soap made from natural ingredients like tallow, palm oil, coconut oil, and scented with essential oils, and for just a little more than you'd pay for grocery store soap? Sterling Soap is 100% natural, and with a wide variety of bath soaps, shave soaps, beard balm, lotions, and cologne, there's a product and a scent for just about everybody. Check them out for yourself at sterlingsoap.com. That's STIRLING soap.com.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Darren Hayes, host of the Pigskin Dispatch and Jersey Dispatch podcast. I hope you've enjoyed another great episode here on Sports History Network. Now, speaking of sports history, this episode was brought to you by Firefly Books, and they have two great ones for you this summer. For basketball fans, they have the NBA 75, the definitive history by author Dave Zarum, who's appeared on our Jersey Dispatch podcast recently. He tells about the experience, the thrilling journey of the NBA, from its humble beginnings to its modern glory. Uncover the untold stories of triumph, controversy, and the greatest stars of the game. This isn't just a book. It's courtside seats to over 75 years of NBA history. And for the golf enthusiasts, swing into The Golf Round I'll Never Forget by Matt Adams. Relive 50 of golf's most memorable moments through the eyes of the legends themselves. From Garcia's triumph at the 2017 Masters to Nicklaus' miraculous 1986 comeback, it's the closest you'll get to walking the fairways with golf's greatest. Get your summer read on. Grab a copy of NBA 75 or The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, available online or at your favorite bookstore.
This is Basketball History 101 with Rick Loayza.
Welcome back to award-winning Basketball History 101, part of the Sports History Network. I am your host, Rick Loayza, and this is the podcast where we bring to life some of the forgotten stories from basketball history. We are bringing old school basketball to a new school audience. And today we bring you the final installment in our three-part episode on the life of Jerry West. The last episode left off with the retirement of West as a player at the end of 1974. He retired with a career scoring average of 27 points per game, which puts him at number 8 all-time in NBA history. Scoring that many points per game for an entire career is truly incredible. And in regard to total points, well, he retired as the third leading scorer in NBA history, right behind his own teammates, Wilt Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor. However, since 1974, a whole bunch of players have passed him by, and Jerry West currently sits as the 27th highest scorer in NBA history on total points. And remember, when he set his mark, he did it in just 14 years. Most modern superstar players play closer to 20 nowadays. But for Jerry West, what came next? For most elite athletes, there is virtually nothing else in life that can bring the same adrenaline and feeling of competition like being a professional athlete. Well, the owner of the Lakers at the time was a man named Jack Kent Cooke, and he recognized solid leadership when he saw it, and he brought West in as a scout to help find new talent for the team. But very quickly, the Lakers were in need of a new head coach. Bill Sharman was done coaching and moved into an executive role with the Lakers, and the team was in a bit of a downturn. Most of the players from the 1972 championship had retired, and the Lakers were now in a rebuilding mode. West took over as the head coach, with his main player being Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But the Lakers needed to rebuild around Kareem to get back to championship level. And West only coached the Lakers for 3 seasons, from 1976 until 1979. And the team made the playoffs in all 3 seasons. But West recognized that he was not a great coach by his own admission, and he found it ill-suited to his temperament. But the team was rebuilding nicely. To play alongside Kareem, the team had added Norm Nixon, Jamal Wilkes, Adrian Dantley, and Michael Cooper. And in the summer of 1979, the Lakers added a player who would change everything for the better. In the summer of 1979, with the top pick in the entire draft, the Lakers selected Earvin Magic Johnson. And that is when Showtime began. Now, some criticize West, saying that he was against the drafting of Magic Johnson. And according to West himself, he was never against picking Magic Johnson. He just wanted to make sure that the team had thoroughly considered Sidney Moncrief, who was the other possible top pick. And by the way, Moncrief was a 5-time All-Star, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and a Hall of Famer in his own right. So yeah, Moncrief was definitely worthy of consideration. But the move from coaching back into scouting was a move that made sense for the team and everyone involved. West had found his perfect fit, evaluating talent and looking to fill in the gaps in the Lakers roster. And in this position, he could contribute more to the Lakers than he could have as a coach. And then another change in the organization took place that really solidified West's future with the Lakers. Jack Kent Cooke decided to sell the team to real estate mogul Dr. Jerry Buss. New Lakers owner Jerry Buss recognized that Jerry West was being underutilized. He promoted Jerry West to the position of general manager, and he was now fully in charge of building the team from the coaches to the players. And this would begin arguably the greatest executive career in NBA history. One of the first moves that he made to the team was to replace Paul Westhead, who had already won a championship as the team's head coach. And his replacement was a guy who had virtually no coaching experience at all. And that guy was Pat Riley. Riley won 4 championships leading the Showtime Lakers. And this was something that West simply knew was the right pick. But the championship that meant the most to Jerry West was that 1985 championship. Up until 1985, the Lakers and the Celtics had played each other in the NBA Finals a total of 8 times, and the Celtics had won every single one of them. Now, the Lakers had 8 championships of their own during their team history, but none of them was a victory over the Celtics. They were the one team the Lakers could never beat, at least not until 1985. The Lakers won that series 4-2. And even more, the Lakers secured that championship in Boston on the Celtics floor. After the incredible frustration of losing to the Celtics in the finals 6 times during his playing career, he finally beat the Celtics, and that was everything to Jerry West. The 1985 ring was his most prized possession. In fact, it was the ring that he wore regularly. The Lakers would win again in 87 and 1988, and by the time the 1990s rolled around, the entire Showtime team had either retired or had moved on to other teams. And West was in a position where he had to rebuild the team, and that was not going to be easy. He was able to pick up some nice individual players like Vlade Divac, Eddie Jones, and Nick Van Exel, but putting it all together to compete for a championship was another challenge completely. And then the summer of 1996 rolled around, and that was the most action-filled and exhausting summer that West had ever been through. 2 of the biggest moves of his career happened that same summer within just weeks of each other. The first was evaluating players for the 1996 NBA draft. The Lakers did not pick until the 24th spot in the first round. It would be very difficult to get an impact player with the 24th pick, but after putting a number of different players through individual workouts, West was positive that he had to figure out a way to bring a 17-year-old Kobe Bryant into the Lakers organization. And when Kobe came in for a workout, West had asked 40-year-old Michael Cooper to play defense against Kobe. Now, Cooper had been out of the league a couple of years, but he was still in excellent shape. And the idea was not for Cooper to destroy Kobe or anything like that. Cooper's job was simply supposed to give Kobe a solid workout and make it tough for him so that the Lakers could see how Kobe's development was coming. And West famously cut the workout short. He said, "I've seen enough, shut it down." And that stopped the entire workout. And I remember reading about that in the newspaper back then and assuming that West was not very impressed with Kobe. But when the rumor started that West was trying to make a trade with the Hornets, that's when I knew that Kobe was probably going to be the next big star for the Lakers. And in the end, that's exactly what happened. West was counting on Kobe falling to the 13th pick where the Charlotte Hornets were sitting. West had offered All-Star center Vlade Divac in return for the draft rights to Kobe Bryant. The Hornets could not believe it. They were going to be given a proven all-star center who was still in his prime in exchange for an unproven teenager. The Hornets were all over that trade. And now that West had brought Kobe to the Lakers, he still had one more trick up his sleeve that needed to be pulled off quickly. Shaquille O'Neal was a free agent, and the word was that he was feeling insulted by the contract offer that he had received from the Orlando Magic. Now, this story has been told over and over, and it has become a cautionary tale to all team executives across the NBA. Shaq was a free agent, and the Magic fully intended on re-signing him and giving him a new contract. Alonzo Mourning had just been given a contract worth $105 million by the Hornets, and that was the richest contract in NBA history. Now, you can imagine that Shaq assumed that the Magic would offer him a little bit more since he was a better player than Mourning. But the Magic offered a contract for around $85 million, far below what Mourning had signed for, and Shaq was offended by that offer. So Shaq let it be known that he was open to talking with other teams. Jerry West seized that opportunity like nobody else. He was on the phone day and night trying to free up enough salary cap space to be able to bring in Shaq at the salary that he was worth. It took a few weeks of relentless work, but in the end, West was able to offer Shaq a contract worth $120 million, the new richest contract in NBA history. And when the two men got together to actually sign the contract, West told Shaq about this 17-year-old kid who was coming into the Lakers, and that one day, that kid was going to be the best player in the whole league. Over the next few years, West continued to fine-tune the roster by getting rid of Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones, all-stars by the way, for help at other positions. He also brought in Phil Jackson, and that set up the team for their three-peat in 2000, 2001, and 2002. It was in the middle of this championship run that West decided to leave the Lakers organization. He felt that he had done everything he could for the team and had nothing left to prove. He was also looking forward to a new challenge. And after a brief time away from the game, he took on the role of team president of the Memphis Grizzlies. He took over the Grizzlies in 2002, and within just a year, he had the Grizzlies in the playoffs for the first time ever in their team's history. They went to the playoffs 3 years in a row, going from last place in their division before West took over to third place in the division within just a few years. And as far as I was concerned, the man was a magician. He took one of the worst teams in the entire NBA and made them competitive almost overnight. That is the Jerry West effect. And after accomplishing that with the Grizzlies, he needed to take another break from basketball to focus on his family. He left the Grizzlies in 2007, and after several years away, he took on a consulting role with the Golden State Warriors. The job basically consisted of him giving his opinions on various players that the Warriors were considering bringing in. In the world of the NBA, the opinions of Jerry West carry a ton of weight. The Warriors won 2 championships with West as part of the organization. The man was the NBA version of King Midas. Everything he touched turned to gold. West has so many rings that he could open his own jewelry store. His final move was to take on a new consulting role with the LA Clippers. He had helped the Clippers become competitive with some very big splashy moves. He was helping them to bring in Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook at different times, and all of those moves brought the Clippers a whole lot of attention. He sadly passed away in June of 2024, and as I mentioned in the first episode on Jerry West, the man has gone to the NBA Finals 23 times as a player, executive, or consultant. He is one of only a few to make the All-Star game in every season that he played in. And he made the Hall of Fame as a player, deservingly so, and he also made the Hall of Fame as a member of the 1960 United States Olympic team, where he was the co-captain alongside Oscar Robertson. And then he was elected for a third time to the Hall of Fame in the category of contributor for his work as an executive. Jerry West is the first and so far only 3-time Hall of Famer. The sad thing about all of this is that he rarely was able to enjoy his own success. The torment that he experienced due to a loveless upbringing and abusive parents was something that he carried his entire life. According to his own autobiography, he always felt unworthy to be cared about. There was a disconnect between what the public thought of him as an amazing player, executive, and a man, than the way that he felt about himself. My hope is that he finally found the peace that he had been looking for his entire life. To the man born Jerome Allen West, I say, rest in peace. All of us Lakers fans are better off because of you. Well, join us next time when we share another story from basketball history. That's next time on Basketball History 101, part of the Sports History Network, the headquarters of Sports Yesteryear. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com to find out more about this and other sports history podcasts. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcast. And check out our page on Facebook. It's called Basketball History 101 Podcast. And I'll also announce there when new episodes come out. I want to thank my producer and editor, Jacob Loayza. Join us each week as we continue to mine the history of basketball for more great stories in the past. Take care, and see you soon.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
The Sports History Network, where legends live on and the past plays loud. Welcome to the place where history's proud. From gridiron glory to the hardwood stars, from the racetrack heat to Olympic bars. It's the voices, the stories, the moments you miss, told by fans and pros who live for this. Hook and Themic, the Sports History Network, where the past comes alive. Podcasts and blogs that keep the flame high. From Babe to Brady, Alley to the Dome. If it's history and sports, then this is the home. SportsHistoryNetwork.com, the headquarters of sports yesteryear.